Hey everybody, I am back. Real quick video this time from the last time I did one, which was last week. Today, my last video I explained I got the Line 6 Helix back in my rig using a 4-cable method with my Friedman amp. I'm going to just do a quick run through of my direct sound from the Helix that I use mainly as a backup rig at shows, which is great because it's right on the floor in front of me, and I don't have to change anything. All I would need to do is just run some XLRs out to the board or to the snake on stage. All right, so let's get right into it. I actually uploaded this to Custom Tone, and it's actually on my website too, on the Helix page, if you want to check it out and download it. This is it. Obviously, there's no Friedman model in the Helix yet. Hopefully, that comes soon. But this is my, I don't want to call it my take on the Friedman, but it's just a backup rig for me. So I'm not too concerned about getting it, authentic and all that stuff like a lot of guys do that do a great job at it. I just don't have the time and patience for it. So we're gonna start on my clean. I have it set up in snapshot mode where I have. I'm not going to show my pedal board, or actually the Helix board. I'm just going to tell you kind of how I have it set up. I have 4 snapshots. I got clean, crunch. I guess I call it crunch 2, which is going to be a heavier rhythm, and then I have the lead. Those are the 4 along the bottom of the Helix. And I'll go through the effects in a minute. So for my clean, right here is I use the Tweed Blues Bright. And you can see all the settings that I use. I think that's all of them. Yep, that's all of them. And I'm using the same IR impulse response for everything, which is one of the new Celestion Greenback 412s. It sounds pretty good, and again, I'm not too concerned about how close I can get this sounding, but it seems to work for what I like, so that's what I'm using. And you can see the high cut. I brought it way down. Low cut, they're almost kind of matched up as far as being on the screen here. I mean, I can go down, I can go up, it doesn't really matter. I keep everything else the same. I'm not very picky with that. I'm using the 2048 sample IR. I guess you could use the 1024. I don't really hear that big of a difference, but this, when I loaded it in, I just chose that one, and that's the one I ended up on, so that's how it is. All right, so back to the amp. There's the settings. This is just my clean, ultra clean. Now on this, when you notice I have this channel on, or this snapshot on, I have right here, I have a noise gate, which I'm not sure why that's on. It should be off. But basically this whole top section here is, I believe that's my crunch and lead and all that stuff. So we're dealing with this row here. And so you got the amp, you got the IR, and I think everything on my clean channel, my clean sound, is after the amp. So it's all in the effects loop. I have a volume for the volume pedal, which is expression 2 on the Helix. I have the chorus, which I don't have the tempo synced on this. I set it to a certain speed, which is right here, 2.5. And I set the mix at 40. I also have the ability to go to a tremolo. I have a delay, a simple delay set with tempo sync and trails on. And you can check all this stuff out. If you need to pause it, or you can just download the preset. I have a low high cut on in the level. I boosted the level up a little bit here, 2 dB, because I was finding that this model, the volume was much lower than my gain stuff. So I added that in. And then I have a Cali Q graphic where I kind of did some stuff here that you can check out. Nothing major, just a little boost here, a little cut there. And reverb is the chamber, and trails are on. And I think this reverb, I'm not sure if I have the same reverb for both, for my high gain settings and this one. I'll have to check that in a minute, but I'm just gonna play. Here's the clean. You can hear that delay. When I'm playing live, it sounds really prominent now. But when you're playing live, it kind of gets shuffled into the mix a little bit, so you don't hear it as much. Now, I will turn on. Oh, that's right. I do actually use some of the stuff up here, which is the phaser and the flanger. And there is a wah pedal, but I don't really use that for the clean. The phaser. Let me turn the phaser on. It's my Van Halen style flanger. So that's and now I have on the Helix itself on the floor. The top row has a an overdrive, which we'll get to. It has that phaser, which is this. I'm going to shut this flanger off now. It has the phaser. It has that flanger up there, and it has a long delay, which is this one. If I need to add it in, which is more in the mix. Delay. Now I have access to that from all the snapshots, so I can add that into anything. That right there is basically my clean tone. Again, this is my backup rig because I still run a real amp live. I went through all kinds of phases where I was going direct, I was going amp, I was going direct, and once I got the Friedman, I was like, that's it. Unless I have to, I'm running the Friedman amp and using the Helix 4-cable method, which is the previous video I did. All right, so let's move on. Let's go to my crunch, which is my, your rhythm channel. Here, as you can see, this amp, the Tweed, shut off, and this one turned on. I'm using the Line 6 2204 mod. Get the bass way down, the mids cranked. I put the channel volume all the way up. And I adjusted things here and there, but nothing crazy. Same IR, same settings on the IR. So here you got the wah. I'm using the throaty. I have a pitch because my band does the Bon Jovi stuff. So You Give Love a Bad Name and Never Say Goodbye. He said he uses a Pog Live, I believe, Sambora. So I'm just using this just to add a little bit into it. And then, before I forget, on the input, I have it set to guitar, and I do have the input gate on. And here's the settings for that. I have a gate here, and it's not on in this one either. I'm not sure. I think maybe in the high gain stuff I put it on. I don't remember. I did this a couple of weeks ago when I first got the Helix. So again, I have access to the phaser, the flanger. I have two overdrives. I have the Screamer, the Scream 808, which when I go switch the mode on the Helix itself, I have access to that. But in the top row, when it's in snapshot setting, I have access to the Minotaur. I guess it's the clone, whatever. I don't know how you say it. Model. I also have a gain. This gain right here is actually for the lead. That will kick on automatically when we get to the lead stuff. Then I also have access to the chorus and the tremolo, which is in the other mode on the board. I don't have any delay. You can hear a little bit of that's a little of the crunch sound right there. I don't have delay on these preset or these parts of the preset. Again, I have the low high cut on, and the Cali Q graphics is the same. And I believe this chamber is basically the same as, let me check it. 6.6 with that, yeah. Yeah, it's basically the same reverb. So here's the crunch setting. And rolling down. That's just basic rhythm sound. Again, I don't go crazy trying to nail a certain specific tone. I just get something that's I think will translate well out front, and I only have to use this when I really need to use it. All right, so let's move on to. You can see it change up there. Crunch 2, which is my high gain, and everything's basically the same as the Crunch, except the Klon comes on, and you can see the settings here. The level, I really pushed the heck out of the front of the amp. The tone, I drop down a little. The gain, I add a little bit more gain into it, and everything else stays the same. And that's that. And I'll go through some of the other effects with this too. And that is the high gain setting. So now, let me throw the pitch on so you can hear. It's very, very subtle. So if I took this mix up a little bit more. Yeah, you don't want to play chords. That actually sounds pretty cool. But it tracks pretty well. I'm going to get this back down to, I think it was at 40. Was it at 40? I don't remember. I have it saved, so I'll get it back to where it needs to go. All right, so that's the pitch. I'll do a little of the wah. Here we go. That's the wah that I have, and there's the settings. You want to take a look at them. Even if you don't like the sounds I'm getting, maybe some of the effects you might like, and you can take a look at them. The phaser, it's the Van Halen type phaser. Very, very simple phaser. The flanger. Same flanger as it's on the clean, and everything's the same. I don't really use controllers and all that stuff. I don't get into that. I just like stuff simple. So, and also I have, if I turn off the Klon, I can turn on the Screamer, which has a lot of gain to it. It tones down even more, but the Scream model doesn't have as much push. To my ears anyway, as much push as the Klon does. So that's why I have the gain up on this. The Klon, even with the gain down on the Klon, I can hear, I'll call it Minotaur. I can hear there's more of a buzz or crunch on the Klon than there is on the green Screamer or the Scream or whatever you want to call it. Same type of tone, but there's more of a buzz or like a grit to the Klon. So that's why I have two different ones. So when I'm playing, I can switch. If I'm hearing it, I have my in-ears in and I'm like, it's too buzzy. I can just switch to this one here. Volume pedal, I'm not gonna. Oh, actually, that's the lead. The volume pedal is on everything. I'm not gonna do it because you guys know what a volume pedal does. It just takes the sound down. You can't hear it anymore, and you turn it up and you hear it. Same thing with the chorus and the tremolo. The long delay I can turn on. I also have access to the simple short delay when I switch modes on the board itself. If I want to add a delay into the patch, I can. EQs are the same. So let's move on to the lead. And the lead is the same as the Crunch 2 or the Heavy Rhythm, except that it has a 4 dB boost right here with volume, and it has the simple delay on it, because all my leads always have delay. That's my lead. Hopefully it sounds louder through the video here. It sounds louder here than I'm hearing it in the room, but who knows if you guys will hear it. And that is my Friedman BE100 quote-unquote backup rig preset, Helix preset, whatever you want to call it. And I'm hoping I don't have to use it live at a show, because if I do, that means something happened with my amp. But if I do, it's all set up to go. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. And hopefully I'll figure some other video that I can do next. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Again, you can download this preset. You can also download my my 4-cable method to use with the real amp. If you do have a Friedman BE100, as I said in the last video, I couldn't find anything online about whether or not it works with the channel switching and all that stuff. So it's there, it does work, and my preset is available on my website if you want to, take an easy way out and just download that to get yourself started. But thank you again, and I shall see you next time. Bye.